September 1985, Munich, Germany. 2 months after Live Aid, Queen were back in the studio, working on a new album and planning a European tour for the following summer.
I think for this, if you're going to use it, it has a simple smash.
Yeah.
The jungle rhythm should come out of cymbal smash. You know?
Okay.
And in his downtime, Freddie took to Munich in a big way.
Freddie had become very immersed in the gay scene there, which was like a mini New York. And there was an area that was referred to as the Bermuda Triangle, where all the gay clubs were. And there was a very vibrant gay scene, which became addicted to it. It was all about clubbing and drugging and drinking every night.
At Freddie's side was his ever-present personal manager, Paul Prenter.
Paul Prenter was mainly looking after the, how did they call it, the ginger area. They called going out to gay clubs going ginging. Yeah, I guess you had to be there.
I see a blue Brintocket. Hey, Freddie!
Hello, Roger. How are you?
How's it going, guys? We're having a beer here. You going to join us?
No. We've got plans.
Perhaps we can come along.
I don't think it'll be quite your thing. Freddie?
Freddie, with his guys, would go off and they'd be finding their own entertainment, and the rest of the band would go off in other directions, and never the twain shall meet. Within their inner circle, it was the PPP and the HH. It was the presidential pouf de parlor and the heterosexual Hilton.
But it was a risky time to be a gay man. Since the outbreak of AIDS in the US, the disease had spread worldwide, and by 1983, scientists recognized it was caused by a retrovirus and had discovered it could be spread through sex.
Once the virus was isolated, we were then able to understand the mechanisms by which it was transmitted: sexual, injection drug use, blood products such as transfusions or to haemophiliacs, and then we were able to give people advice on how to protect themselves.
But Freddie brushed the danger aside.
He was living a very precarious life because he was, doing so much of everything, and people were worried about him, and several friends did warn him about, taking care because of, AIDS was out there. But he said, "Oh, don't worry, I'm not going to make old bones anyway."
In the gay clubs of Munich, Freddie ignored the possibility he might become, or already be, HIV positive. In fact, he was spreading his affections around quite freely, with the help of an unusual accomplice.
Barbara Valentine was a sex symbol in Germany. They called her the Brigitte Bardot of Germany. Now she was in her middle years, but still trying to be very sexy. She showed him the Munich nightlife.
It was basically what Freddie needed, a door opener. It was convenient. And she was situated in the gay community as Big Mama, giving him access to everything he wanted. And Barbara was the worst influence Freddie ever had.
Freddie and Barbara shared a Munich flat, and seemingly much more.
Did you sleep well?
Yes, I did, my darling. Thank you very much. Danke schön, mein Liebling.
Barbara was very open with me about the sexual relationship she had with Freddie, and quite often that involved other people as well. Other men, other women. There would be a number of them in the bedroom at any given time, and in fact they were raided by the police once, and the police did storm into their room and found more people than they were expecting to find in the bed that morning.
She didn't mind what she did, really, with the boys. She wanted to get to Freddie, so to have him have fun, she joined in. I walked in on one by mistake, but I didn't stay. I was invited to, but I decided to go and have a cup of tea.
Party to these fun threesomes was Freddie's new Munich-based boyfriend, Winnie Kirschberger.
Winnie Kirschberger to Freddie, I think he was a big sex scene, really. Winnie didn't speak any English, and Freddie didn't speak any German, so how deep is your love? How sophisticated is that love affair going to be? Not really. I think it was primarily founded on sex.
Only the complications of Freddie's sex life didn't end in Munich. Just a few months before Live Aid, Freddie had met 36-year-old Jim Hutton.
Can I buy you a drink?
No, I've got one, thanks. Let me buy you a drink.
All right, lovely. Vodka and tonic.
I'll have a vodka and tonic too, please.
How big's your cock? Jim was a very ordinary guy who was from Ireland, and he was very masculine looking, the type that Freddie liked. You know, he liked an ordinary guy. He thought they were attractive because they were normal, what you would call normal, whatever normal is.
Hello, Jim. It's Freddie, darling.
Freddie? Ah, Freddie, how are you?
I was wondering why you haven't called.
Oh, well, now, you know how it is.
And I was wondering, are we going to see each other again?
Well, sure.
Would you like to come to dinner tonight? There's just a few of us.
Sure.
Jim was a good bloke, and he was a character in his own right, and I think made him a lot different to a lot of people Fred met.
I'm such a great cook. No formal training, just all natural flair. Have a seat, darling.
Why Liza? Is that his real name?
No, his real name is Joe Finelli. I call him Liza Minnelli, because I absolutely adore her.
Okay. And what's Phoebe's real name then?
Phoebe's real name is Peter. I give all my friends little nicknames.
Great. And do they have one for you then?
They do. They call me Melina.
Melina?
Yes, after Melina Mercury, the singer. You know what, darling? I think we should give you a nickname as well.
Freddie nicknamed Jim Lauren, after the actress Lauren Hutton. A few months later, he flew him to Munich for his 39th birthday party, an outrageous black and white ball at a local nightclub, Henderson's.
He said to me, I want you to come to Munich because it's my birthday and we're going to have a drag ball. It's going to be fabulous. Everybody's coming in drag. I said, hey, Freddie, it's not a problem. He said, everybody. I said, no, it's okay, man. Everybody. The funny thing was that everybody was in drag except for Freddie, because he turns up dressed as a mannequin, you know, and, you know, in this one-piece mannequin suit, and I'm going, oh, thanks a lot.
It was a huge event. Guests included Freddie's Munich record producer Reinhold Mack and Queen's longtime lawyer and business advisor, Jim Beach.
Freddie's 39th birthday, he wanted to have a big do, and there was Jim Beach saying, if we incorporate this into birthday filming video, then it's tax deductible and we just spend it all.
The extravaganza cost £50,000 and went down in rock and roll folklore.
The party was an extraordinary event. I'd never been to a party like it, and I've been to a lot of rock and roll parties. It was amazing. everybody got so much champagne and vodka. I mean, everybody got absolutely blotto. It was terrific. It's just pure luxury.
The party was filmed for the music video for Freddie's solo single, Living on My Own. Freddie lip-synced to the track at the party venue, alone. The promo emphasized Freddie's sense of loneliness. With or without people, he still felt on his own. Yet Freddie isn't all alone at the party. The footage revealing he enjoyed having new lover Jim around. But also lurking in the footage was Paul Prenter.
At the party, I remember Prenter gave Freddie something just before he cut his cake. And you see, Freddie told me a moment earlier, he said, "I can't see, I'm blind." And, I was just going to say, don't be ridiculous, where I realized that he wasn't seeing anything. It was sort of, how do you call them, poppers, or, a mild nitrate or something. It was something totally stupid.
Freddie just about managed to blow out his candles, but Prenter had to help steady him. It was a legendary 39th birthday party that epitomized his lifestyle.
Everybody was dancing. I mean, some people were almost naked. They came as these famous people, but they were almost naked. And certainly by the end of the evening, they were almost naked. I mean, it did look like something like the fall of the Roman Empire, the last party,
Only the party was about to come to an abrupt halt. Soon after his birthday, the Queen frontman made a sudden decision to quit Munich and head home to England.
He left suddenly, without telling anybody, and he didn't even tell Barbara, who he was living with. He just went. He drew a line under that mad life, and he came back to England and he started again.
His return to England may have been connected to his health. According to Barbara Valentin, Freddie may have suspected in Munich that he was HIV positive.
There was an occasion when he cut his hand on a razor in the bathroom. He screamed, she came rushing in and tried to help him, and she got blood all over her, and he was yelling at her to get out, get out, get out. And she said, I realized, I knew that he knew, and he knew that I knew. And she said, we never discussed it. But from then on, we never had sex again.
And his friends were increasingly worried about him and his potential exposure to the virus.
I ran into Freddie, as I often did at the Club Heaven, and I said to him in the Star Bar, have you altered your behavior in light of the new disease? And that's when he did his flourish of his arms and said, darling, my attitude is, fuck it. I'm doing everything with everybody. And I did have that sinking feeling. There is such a thing as that sinking feeling. And I just thought, we're going to lose Freddie. Because no matter what he did to change his act now, it had already happened, without him even knowing it could happen.
So, had Freddie come home to face a secret battle and the fight of his life?